Are you guys friends with capitalists?
Some of my best friends are capitalists.
Turns out Bernie Sanders isn't the only socialist in America. In fact, there are lots, and some of them live amongst us. I'm about to go meet up with some right now and see what they're all about and if they can get down with the most bourgeois thing there is, brunch. What are the biggest misconceptions that people have about socialism? What do they get wrong about you guys?
I think most Americans, when they think about socialism, they think about like some dark period in Russian history that most people know nothing about, but they're like, there's some guy and he tells everybody what to do and that's socialism, and I'm not that kind of guy.
The weirdest one is that it creates poor societies, right? I mean, I think in the best case scenario, socialist creates rich societies, time-rich societies, societies in which you have like the things you need to survive, unlike, for example, the one we live in, where a lot of people don't have those things.
Remember when old people used to be able to retire?
Right. For example, right, yeah.
That was cool.
That was
right?
cool. I think this misconception is that there'll be bread lines, you know, from here to wherever.
Because we don't have that now.
Exactly, right? You know.
And of course, the history of how socialism has contributed to the United States is totally obscured. Really, the folks in the labor movements that were pushing for an 8-hour workday, 40-hour work week, a minimum wage, basic things like that that we take for granted now were brought to us by socialists.
Socialist has room for lots of different things. There's not just one kind of socialist.
My identity as a socialist, I think, is less important as helping people think of an alternative reality that is plausible and possible and radical that we can create.
One that really annoys me is that the idea that socialism is a white thing, because it's not true. Actually, most people who have tried to implement societies that are critical of capitalism and in the benefit of common people are people of color. Black families, Latino families, these socialist ideas that are supposedly too difficult for people to grasp, people grasp them very quickly and they're leading the change. They're thinking about how to organize society around human development and not just the development of capital.
Let me ask you about like the word democratic socialist. Like what does that mean? And why does Sanders, for example, clarify socialism? Like I'm a democratic socialist.
Socialism fundamentally is about expanding democracy, right?
How so?
I mean, I think it's about creating economic democracy.
I don't think what Bernie wants to build is socialism or socialists. I think he wants to take some ideas of socialism and apply them in a capitalist context.
Why do you guys think that in the United States this is such a dirty word, socialism?
Well, there's a long history of libertarianism in the U.S. that I think is kind of the issue, like individual freedom above all else. Well, I kind of want collective freedom, you know? Like, I want all women to be able to have brunch when they want to and have childcare, rather than just for me to have it, or for me to have the personal choice.
I mean, I think there's been a history of disparaging of the idea of socialism by holding up some past socialist experiments.
Stalin, yeah.
Right, yeah.
What if you guys like won the lottery one day? Would you have to would you give that money up immediately?
We organize in such a way that we don't have to depend on winning the lottery to do what we want to do.
Sure, but I'm just saying if you did. Or like if I gave you a Ferrari,
Oh, I would.
would you immediately just like reject it, or would you drive it around a little bit and then sell it and give that money to charity?
I'd sell it immediately.
You'd sell it immediately? No driving it around? You wouldn't accept a Ferrari?
Ferraris are gross.
I grew up obsessed with cars. I wouldn't mind one spin in a Ferrari once in life.